Have you ever been in debt?
Yes, I have.
How did you get out?
I paid.
Hi there, welcome to another episode of Answering Your Money Questions. Today we have lovely questions that we're going to be answering that you guys sent in. And before we get into that, I would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel and also keep sending in your questions. The reason we're taking questions is because it's easier to relate with what we share if we're answering your questions, because then it's relatable. So keep sending in those questions and we'll keep answering them. All right, so okay.
Yes, so the first question we have is, I'm a prospective core member. I want to start on planning how I can use my monthly allowance to begin my financial freedom journey. How do I start this? I need a guide on everything.
On everything. Amazing. I actually like this question, and I like the fact that you're already thinking about it. I remember, I don't know if you've read my book, Employed and Rich. You should read it because it outlines from beginning to the end the step-by-step process that you can take actually to achieve financial success as a core member. And my awareness of my journey started as a youth core member as well. So I remember then I would just earn it all. It wasn't much at the time, but I was earning beyond the regular core member. And so instead of the 9,000 that the government would pay, I was earning 33 because I was serving in the bank at the time. So I was like some sort of big copper girl at the time. But I was always in debt. So your question is actually very important and very vital. So what you need to first of all do is, I like the fact that you said in bracket because I saw that question, you want to be employed and rich, and that makes sense. You're already preparing. So one of the first things you need to do is to set a financial goal. Create your financial plan summary. Where do you see yourself 5 years financially? Do you want to always have your emergency fund in place? Because that's one of the financial goals that you can set. So, I must always have my emergency fund in place. So from now, you're already determined that in 5 years from now, I should have 30 million worth of investments. These are the things that will help you make necessary lifestyle adjustments today. I tell you the truth, if people would just apply the financial principles that we teach, they will actually be comfortable even in tough economic times. Because the whole idea of all the teachings all these years is so that you can prepare for times like this when things are hard. So I have clients who call me and say, I've exhausted all my savings. I said, well, that's why we saved it up in the first place. What if you didn't save up anything? What would you have done with this cost of living that is rising all the time? So determine what you want to achieve. Are you going to make sure that your emergency fund is always available? Are you planning that you will invest 30% of your income consistently for the next 5 years, because you have a target to have 50 million in your investments in the next 5 years? So you're saying I have 50 million worth of investment by 2029. So that drives what you do today. So every time you get your income, you make a budget. You determine the portion that you will go into your savings and investments. For my emergency fund every month, if they pay me that 50K as a core member, I'll set 5,000 aside towards my emergency fund, and then another 10,000 will go into my investments because I have a target I'm working towards. So don't start without creating your financial plan. I'm going to have a pocket of investment that includes real estate and then stock markets. So every month, 10,000 will go to the stock market. You can buy for 10,000. So have a plan and then sit down and have a budget. Every month you get your income, have a budget. In fact, you should have your budget on the first day of every month. We always recommend the first week. Once you make that budget, once the money comes, you execute and automate a lot of things. If you know you have a struggle with spending money, automate a lot of things. And then stay away from debt. If you do those three major things, because the budget is a tool that helps you walk towards your financial plan. So what's the target? I have 20 million worth of investment. Let's even make it shorter. You're a core member, you want to leave your national youth service without any debt and an investment of maybe 500,000. It is possible. So if you're going to reach 500,000, first of all, what's your income? And then you now sit down and plan, how much do I need to set aside every month towards that goal? So that when I'm leaving youth service, I'm not living with debt, I'm living with cash. Because I left with a lot of debt. And I know what I faced because that debt continued even into my career. For the next 9 years, I was in debt. So you don't want to go through that same experience or process. It's not the best. So please create a financial plan and then tell yourself that when I'm leaving NYSC, it always starts with a goal. If there is no goal, nothing will make you adjust. Imagine we're playing a game of football right now and then there's no goal posts. We'll be playing around. Okay, will pass, I'll pass. It will just be child's play. But the moment we set a goal post, you want to win, I want to win. So everybody gets serious and then the game changes. How you will play this financial journey, the game of financial success would depend on the goals you set. So tell yourself, I'm going to be a corper that is rich. It is possible. So this next 1 year, what am I going to do? I'll just make a budget, stay out of debt, and work towards my financial goal. Very, very simple. So I hope I answered that question.
Thank you so much. It was quite insightful. So the next question we have here is kind of related to what you just said.
Okay.
The person is asking, how do I get out of debt?
Okay, so let me ask you, have you ever been in debt?
Yes, I have.
How did you get out?
I paid.
Okay, so don't mind her. She's just been straight to the point. Yeah, but that's how you get out. Anyway, you pay down. Even though we have a process that we tell you to get out, to pay. But honestly, is not the first step is not to pay. The first step is to make a decision to be out of debt. You see, when you want to, even when in the journey to wealth, you must want wealth before you can have it. Otherwise, there'll be nothing driving you to go for it. So are you really ready to be debt-free? If you are, then you're in the best place because you have made a quality decision to be debt-free. Now, there's something called the bulldog determination. If you get my book, Employed and Rich, I talked about it there. When a bulldog grabs something, if there's nothing you want to do, he's not going to leave it. So if you're really determined to be debt-free, you have to make a quality. It's the first step. It's not the payment first. It's the decision that, you know what, I'm done. I remember the day I felt like I was done with debt. Because I mentioned earlier how I was always in debt as an employee and all. But there was I had it up to here and I was like, you know what? I need to get out of this debt. It's too embarrassing now. I have piles of it. So I had to come to that point. So if you're there, you're in a great place. So the next step would then be researching. How do I? Well, I've done the research because then I didn't have resources to go to. I had to Google, how do people come out of debt? The first thing you need to do is to make a budget. Because the moment I made a budget, I could appreciate the value of my income. At the time, it was $500,000. I could appreciate the value of my income. I felt like somebody dashed me money for the first time. So when you make a budget, you appreciate the true value of your 100,000, of your 200,000, because even though I earned $500,000, it wasn't valuable to me at the time. I was always in debt. I could never come out until I sat down and put pen to paper and say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend this on this and this. And then I realized, wow, $500,000 is a lot of money, even at that time. So you need to create a budget. How much do you earn? What is your cost of living? You need to look at figures. If you don't have those details, you need to do that. Now, if you have those details and your income is just not enough to get you out, this is what you need to do. List out all the monies you owe and then cut off the fun part of your life for now. Like the Americans will say, you have to live on rice and beans for maybe another year, right? You need to cut down on areas that you can. I think we're going to answer that question in the next set of questions, but that question is asking, should I invest while I'm in debt? No. Your first priority is to become debt-free, because what's the use of investing when you will use all the returns to pay back debt? There are some things that you cannot afford to do right now that you're in debt. You list everything you owe, and then in order of, I recommend smallness, because if you have a debt of 5,000 and a debt of 50,000, it's easier to pay down the 5,000. And then once you pay down the 5,000, you can then move on to the 50,000 and start nailing it off little by little. The truth of the matter is, most of the time, our creditors will give us time, but we avoid them. They're calling you, you're not picking, and then the whole situation is messy. No. Be a person of integrity. When they call you, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't meet up. Can I do this? Can I do this? But you can't promise people anything if you don't have a budget. You need to know how much in your income you can set aside. Buying suya, buying ice cream, all those things we have to wait for now. I mean, it's towards a goal. When you're now done with paying back your debt, you get your life back. That's the truth. When I finished paying back my debt with the bank at the time, I traveled to 2 countries immediately. Very next year, I traveled to 2 countries at the same time. I was able to take a course with Harvard Business School. I could start to live the life of my dreams because now I was debt-free. So what the debt in your life is doing to you is to hold you back, and you really want to get out as fast as possible. So, all right, so that's it on today's episode of Answering Your Money Questions. I hope we did justice to those questions. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you this content. Also, send in your questions so we can answer them. Thanks for watching today. Bye-bye.